You're such a little psycho. I love it.
How
No witnesses.
do I react to my kid getting in a fight at school? And this
And well, let
was
me quote verbatim my instant response when you said that. You go beat up the other dad.
that is what he said. And so this came because I was listening to a Facebook short, and they were talking about a
Okay, I'm
scenario.
only slightly disappointed it's not one of your kids.
Nope, they're homeschooled. They
I mean, I
fight all
don't
the
want them to
time.
get in. They go to church. Trust me, you can whoop some butt at church. It's been done before.
Oh, they fight each other all the time. They're
I'm
homeschooled.
just, I told my daddy, I'm just throwing out the merchants from the temple. Don't worry about it.
Oh man.
All right, sorry. All right, so you read something.
No. Listen to something, but it came from Reddit regardless.
Sure, whatever. Right.
Where a dad picked up their kid from school, and he had punched a bully. And he asked, because the school doesn't give context. Most schools are just zero tolerance. You hit, you're done. And so he asked his kid what happened, and he said that one of the girls at his school is commonly picked on, and one of the bullies took it too far. During lunch, they walked over to her and dumped an entire drink all over her, and he stood up for her, and the bully tried to get up in his son's face, and so the son punched him.
Yeah, that's right here. Dun, 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 John Cena. Just bam, nail that bully. Let's go.
And so what the dad did is he explained to the kid that, you always try to talk it out first. You don't lead with violence, and explained that if he continues to be violent, he's going to continue to get in trouble at school. And then he took him out for dinner to celebrate him standing up again for someone in his class. And the mom was super worried that they were sending the wrong message, that they were telling him to be violent. And so it made me think about how to react. How do I react when my kid is violent at school or some other place out in public? Because like I said, my kids are homeschooled, but they could get into a fight at a park or somewhere else, or church, like you said. So your reaction is beat up the other parent. That makes me think, because I did see I think it's from a movie where or maybe it's another Reddit one, but regardless, where a mom had decked another mom because the son had been bullying her kids. And she turns to the bully and says, "This is going to happen every time you pick on my kids. I will hit your mom.
Yeah.
You caused that pain."
Yeah.
And so, that
is. Well, and let's be fair. There's a 50-50 chance mom caused the pain that turned the kid into a bully.
Yep.
Maybe not, but something. Bullies don't come from good, loving households. They come from damage.
Yep. And it could be damage in the fact that they are spoiled, because that is a form of damage. It doesn't just have to be. That is a form of being a bad parent. Right. Or as Casey, who is here, I don't know if he's still here, but he commented on the difference in our Discord between gentle parenting and permissive parenting, and he wrote a really good write-up on it. I had never heard the term permissive parenting before, and he explained that gentle parenting is leading by example and setting appropriate boundaries with your child and guiding them to self-reflection and self-maintenance, whereas permissive parenting is what people stereotypically call gentle parenting, but they call it erroneously. Permissive parenting is where you're not really parenting at all. It's more of a free-for-all.
So he also pipes in here live. It says bullying often isn't a damaged kid. Often it can just be that they are seeking attention. There's nuances. I may have over smacked that a little bit, but there's definitely
Well,
different things. But
that can be a form of
yeah,
damage too if you're neglected at home to
yeah,
where you're seeking attention elsewhere, because kids definitely act out in order to get their parents' attention. Um, so damage comes in a lot of different forms, and I don't think that the two are mutually exclusive in that regard. Um, but yeah, so like I do have a for instance, um, from my own life. I didn't. Well, I've gotten in a few fights, but never at school, so I didn't get in trouble at school for them. But my sister, on the other hand, did get in a fight at school. And so my dad had to go pick her up, and he asked her two questions. The first question was, "Did you start it?"
mm-hmm.
Second question was, "Did you win?"
Papa
and
NASCAR, man.
my sister, in fact, did not start it. And she said that there wasn't really any winner because they got broken up too fast. Um,
I
but
thought she's gonna have one of those wisdom. But Dad, nobody really wins in a fight.
no, and he did in fact take her out to eat afterwards, because it was like right before lunch that he had gone to pick her up and whatnot. And context matters. A lot of these people um, have a hard stance against violence,
Which
and
is
what
honestly ridiculous, and I'll talk about why in a minute.
no, I agree. So violence should never be the first answer when it comes to conflict resolution, but there are times when it is the only answer. um you can see that throughout history, and it still applies on a micro scale to um childhood interactions. There was once where and I think I've told this story on the podcast before, where someone who was younger than me was bullying me on the bus, and it wasn't like he was just talking smack. It wasn't anything really egregious. He wasn't like doing really ugly pranks or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him, like, look, you need to stop, or we're gonna fight. And so after a full week of this on the bus, I'm just like, okay, and when we get off, I gave you a warning. We're done. So I waited for the bus to pull away, and
You're such a little
I
psycho. I love it. No witnesses.
and I he didn't even get a swing in. I pulled I was
You
watching a lot
hockeyed
of
him.
hockey. Yeah, I was
Yes.
watching a lot of hockey at the time. I pulled his jacket up over his head. I bashed his head a few times, and then my sister came and pulled me away, and he ran away crying, and he didn't bully me again after that. And so was that the right way? Maybe not, because I didn't escalate it to an adult or anything like that, but it took care of the situation.
I mean,
He did.
that's part of theoretically, it's part of gentle parenting. You've handled it yourself, and there can be consequences. And sometimes there are consequences, negative, and sometimes there's positive. Sometimes there's both. Would your kid's in the same situation? He comes home, tells you this kid is just running their mouth, and same situation you were in, right? Would you tell him that story? Would you advise? What would you advise them?
So first, if I know the parents, I'd talk to the parents and see if they could intervene first. And if the behavior does not end, we would go from there. So far, we haven't run into that situation, but because that story in and of itself was it, because like my dad had started off with my sister saying, "Did you start it?"
Yeah.
Technically, he wasn't violent with me first, but I didn't necessarily start it either. I started the
Yeah.
violent aspect of it. But
So, and there's something to be said about situations and standing up for yourself in moments. I taught my kids words are for weaklings. Honestly, the people like run their mouths, they're not going to, most of them aren't going to do anything about it. They're trying to make fun of you because you seem like a target. Strength is just not giving a crap. They don't matter. They don't exist to you. Not, I like them, I hate them, I laugh with you. They don't exist. And, I get it. I've had people say things to me too, and they're like, oh, it's like, that's why you have ear pods. It's why, if it's too much, I'll tell you, I'll bring you home. And all my kids are homeschooled now, but for a little bit, they all got a taste of public school, except for, I think, Zoe, and that's never going to happen. Uh, but it's like the biggest part is that you want to be liked. You want people to like you. And it bothers you when people don't like you. So what do you think is going on with them that they're so desperate to be liked by everybody else, they got to push you down? So the easiest thing to do to whoop their butts is to not, they don't exist to you. You don't like them. You don't hate them. They have nothing to respond to. It drives them crazy. It took a while for me to get that through to my kids. Not all of that. Ryland really got it. Like, he's like, whatever, man. But me growing up, I was bullied a lot. And my mom, rest her soul, was absolutely wrong in how she raised me. Because she was like, turn the other cheek, and we never get violent. And even when I would point out in the Bible, but Jesus got violent, somehow that was different. It was different. And there's one time, I think I came home with like a black eye. Somebody hit me, and I did not hit him back. And my dad, the preacher, lost his crap. I vaguely remember it because I was 6, 7, 8, somewhere there. Childhood, whatever. And I remember her they're trying to deal with it because she was telling me, and he's like, I'm going to teach you how to make a fist and I'll punch you. She's like, no, I'm not doing it. Oh my God. and like, he was like, you're so big. Cause I was already bigger than all the other kids, that I could just grab their hand and squeeze it. And even then she was like, did it. Honestly, he made the mistake then too. He should have been like, out loud or inside voice, said, screw you, woman. I'm going to teach my kid what I feel is right. And I think later on I got into some self-defense and karate and this and that and other, but he wanted to teach me how to throw a punch if needed. He served in the military. Yeah, he served in God's army too, but it killed him to see his kid basically be a little B word. Because that's what my mom was making me. I was like this sad little dude who wouldn't stand up for himself, that could easily be like, I mean, honestly, I could have just smacked their fist away when they went to hit me. Like, nah, man. There's so kind of like popping NASCAR. Don't start it. Don't start. And Oakland got it backwards. There was some guy at middle school, high school range, put his hands on him. That's a great quote.